Vasistha continued. Seeing all the members of the royal court, Lila was puzzled. She thought, this is strange, for these people seem to exist in two places at the same time, in that region which I saw in my meditation and here in front of me. Just as a mountain is seen both inside the mirror and outside it, this creation is seen both within consciousness and outside it. But which of these is real and which the reflection? I must find out from Saraswati. She adored Saraswati and saw her seated in front of her. So it's interesting that Lila had gone into nirvikalpa samadhi, this state of absorption and awareness. But what happened within that state of absorption, it obviously wasn't some kind of formless state, some kind of nebulous, shapeless, amorphous or whatever state that she'd got into. She saw her husband, and this is what she'd wanted to see. She'd wanted to see her husband who'd recently died on the battlefield, and she saw him in all his glory. And it was so vivid, and this is what she felt. This was the boon that Saraswati had granted her, that she'd see her husband's spirit. And it was so real that she doesn't actually know which one is real now, the reality from her meditation and the reality which existed outside her meditation. So she's asking Saraswati which one is real. Saraswati asked, tell me first, what do you consider real and what unreal? Lila answered, that I am here and you are in front of me, this I consider real. That region in which my husband is now, that I consider unreal. So it's a bit like what we say about dreams, isn't it? We tend to think of dreams as being unreal. Saraswati said, how can the unreal be the effect of the real? In other words, how could the real be the cause of the unreal? The effect is the cause. There is no essential difference. It's a bit like the old mind-body problem. You know, if I move my hand, I have the thought to move my hand, and the thought causes me to move my hand. Now, is a thought imaginary? And if it is imaginary, how can it affect something real, something which is material, such as something which is concrete? So we have to come into some agreement about the nature of thought and the nature of materiality. How can they be different? How can a thought, an insubstantial thought, affect something real? So it seems to be that either they're both material, or they're both imaginary, or both like a dream, or insubstantial. So this is what's meant. This is what Saraswati means when she says the effect is the cause. There is no essential difference. Even in the case of a pot which is able to hold water, whereas its cause, which here is clay, cannot. This difference is due to the cooperative causes. What was the material cause of your husband's birth? For only material effects are produced by material causes. So I'm not sure what this phrase cooperative causes, it must mean sort of indirect, or I suppose the shape of the clay is a cooperative cause to the fact that it can hold water. And I mean, this whole thing about cause and effect is really no more than a way of thinking. For example, here's my hand, and here's a fist. Two different words, but are they two different things? Is my hand different from the fist? Does my hand cause the fist? Are they different? Are they the same? We could say that the hand is the underlying reality of the fist. The hand is the underlying reality of the fist. Or we could say that the fist is inherent in the hand. These are ways of talking, and this is what the Yoga Vasistha is getting at here. You know, the hand causes the fist. We could say, yes, it does cause the fist. And we could argue it doesn't, that there's no difference between the two. Cause and the effect are the same. Just a different way of describing them. You could say that that difference is due to the cooperative cause, which is the shape. Hence, when you find no immediate cause for an effect, then surely the cause existed in the past. Memory. Memory is like space, empty. Yeah, I mean, what is memory? And when you consider how much we're affected by memory, is memory more substantial than a dream? It's very possible to confuse memories with dreams. I did this once myself, actually. I think I'll just indulge a little personal anecdote. I once took a sleeping bag. I was going to visit some friends and I thought I'll take my sleeping bag, but I remember the sleeping bag was damaged and I was disappointed because it hadn't been used that much and it was quite an expensive one. And the sleeping bag had a tear down it and the stuffing was coming outside. But rather than fix it before I went, I just took out a roll of masking tape. I thought I'll just patch it up when I use it, and I'll probably throw it away after this particular trip. So I carried my sleeping bag and the masking tape around on my visits, and then one night I had to take it out. So I got the masking tape out and I got the sleeping bag out. I pulled the sleeping bag out its bag and there was nothing wrong with it. It was, I examined it closely, there was no tear in it, there was no, it hadn't been stitched up or anything, it was as good as new. And the only conclusion I had was that I dreamt this. I dreamt that the sleeping bag had been torn. I was disappointed because it hadn't got much use and it was fairly new. And I thought this was a memory. So this is memory. All creation here is the effect of that emptiness, and hence the creation is empty too. So it's memory in the sense that it's not got any substance. It's empty in the sense that it's not got any substance. Even as the birth of your husband is an illusory product of memory, I see all this as the illusory and unreal effect of imagination. And we're about to have another story within a story.